I've been covering tech for a long time. And if there's one thing I've learned, it's this constant, that most of us don't see the real story because we're too busy looking at the headline. And this week is no exception. Sam Altman came out and made this quote: ChatGPT is no longer a Google replacement. Now, to some people, that might just sound like a CEO that's pivoting his company. To others, it might sound like hyperbole. But here's what's happening. This is a complete shift in how the internet works and how you and I work within it. Let's talk about it.
Welcome to the API for Everyone Daily Brief.
ChatGPT used to feel like a smarter Google. I mean, what wasn't to like? You ask a question, you get a better answer. You have fewer tabs up. There's less digging. It was a search interaction. And when I first started speaking and doing workshops in front of large groups of people, I found that to be completely true. People were using ChatGPT the exact same way they would use Google. It just felt familiar. And it made sense. But Sam Altman is coming out saying that's already outdated. That is not how ChatGPT is going to work in the future because it's already handling other tasks. It's writing proposals. It's creating reports. It's acting like a junior employee, not just some search bar that you're using. Here's another quote from Sam here. You can give it a job and it will go off and do a bunch of stuff and come back with a proposal. Well, that's not search, that's delegation. And it opens the doors to something entirely new, something we have never seen before. We need to start getting real and talking about our mindset and how we're approaching all of this. We are evolving from what used to be a search engine into what is truly a personal operating system. Sam Altman called it out directly. He said people are using ChatGPT like an operating system for their life. I know I am doing that on multiple fronts. I have an AI agent that helps me track my nutrition. I have one that helps me with my workouts. I have another one for work that goes out every morning. It finds my top news stories at 7 a.m., the top news stories at 7 p.m. It puts them in a TLDR format. I can scroll through, approve the one that I like. I can move that into another agent that's going to format everything in the way that I like it formatted. Then I've got it in front of me to do my edits, make my tweaks, make sure it's accurate, and publish. So what used to take me hours now only takes me 30 minutes. So it's just amazing. So this is not an app. This is truly a tool. And here's where it's going to get even cooler in the future because it still has some limited memory and capability, but eventually this is going to pretty much have infinite memory. So as you are writing, as you are creating, as you are doing whatever it is that you're doing in your life, it's going to remind you. It's not going to let you forget certain things in your life. We've all woke up in the morning in a panic because we forgot something, or you missed a meeting, or if you forgot to pick somebody up, you double booked a meeting. All those things are going to not happen in the future. And here's what that looks like. Because you don't search for tips when you're writing an email, you just ask it to draft the email. You don't compare calendars. It just schedules it for you. It just looks for the openings that two people have, and it just finds a way to schedule that. You don't build a deck. You just put the bullet points into something like Gamma, and it creates the slides for you. So this isn't the future. A lot of these things are already happening. Now, it's not perfect by any means, and I will tell you that 70+% of the things that I try to automate don't really work as planned, and we're going to do future videos on that as well. But here's the thing, still try to automate those things, or still work with somebody to learn how you can automate some of those things, because even if they don't work, you're going to learn how the process flows. And as the technology gets better and better, you're going to be leaps and bounds ahead of anybody else that's not following this. So you're going to be able to create your own AI agents, your own workflow, your own automations, and you're going to win. I mean, and here's the real leap too that's coming, because AI is not going to wait on your inputs in the future, because it's going to know you so well and it knows the work that needs to be done. And it's going to have this memory that it's just going to start doing some of that work for you while you're asleep without you even prompting it, telling it, talking to it. It's just going to happen. And this is going to have massive implications on all businesses that rely on attention, on clicks, and their content to survive. I'm one of those people. So I'm sitting here with you on this boat trying to figure it out. Instead of clicking through 5 links, it's just going to give you the answer or complete the task. There's just going to be no more middle person there. And this is just going to get better as ChatGPT 5 comes out. It looks like the rumor is July. And then, of course, every model that comes out from there, this is going to continue to improve. We need to make sure that we are changing with the times, because if you have a business, a service, you depend on content, you need to focus less on being searchable and more on being selectable. And what I mean by that is to be usable, actionable, integrated. You are now not just writing for that customer, that prospect, that client. You are writing to train the LLM. You want it to pull your content as the best answer to the question that that person is asking. So this is a complete shift in how we do everything. If you're a business owner, a leader, if you're running the marketing department, come in here. We need to talk a little bit, because I know most of you are still building for Google. You're still building for Google, even though most users are already shifting to ChatGPT, to Perplexity. We're seeing Google roll out AI mode. We're already seeing in the analytics that Google is starting to put the AI mode stuff in our reports. Here, I just did a video on that. You can check it out right here. How are you using it? Kind of evaluate if you're using these tools more than search, and understand that this is what's going on. You do not just have a traffic problem here. You have a visibility problem. You have a discoverability problem. You have a do I even show up on the right interface problem. We need to be planning for that today, because ChatGPT 5 is getting ready to roll out, and we need to make sure we're preparing for this. Because what OpenAI is really planning with ChatGPT is this is a built-in marketplace where all of your tools go into. You're going to eventually have one login. It's going to have this persistent memory across all of your devices. And we're going to like that because of the memory that it's going to give us. Everybody's going to flock to that. There is no question in my mind about that, because he's not imagining a better search engine here. That's not what he's doing. He's describing a self-learning, self-managing digital layer that completely replaces search. And are you preparing for it? Are you preparing your company for it? Are you preparing your clients for it? Hopefully you are, because you're listening to this video, this podcast, wherever you're watching this. But if you need help, call me, let me know. We can do this together. Usually I give 3 tips, but today this is so important. I'm going to give you 5 things that you can do right now. So let me bring that up here on the board. Number 1, design for use, not views. What I mean by that is stop thinking only about traffic. Start thinking, can ChatGPT use this? Is your content structured clearly? Can AI extract what matters? Now, come in here again for me. If you are just jumping on ChatGPT with a couple of prompts, creating something, copy and pasting it, or using one of those services that just floods the web with generic AI content, that might work in the short term if that's your model. But if you represent a brand, if you represent anybody with authority or reputation, you're not going to want to do that. Not to mention, if you're doing that, that content is not going to be valuable to the new system because it made it. It's your job to put your voice inside of it, to put your brand messaging inside of it, to create your style within the system. Don't let AI run you. You are running AI. I have been saying this from day one. You're the one driving the intent. Drive it. Stay in that driver's seat. Tip number 2, make your offering AI readable. Now, what I mean by that is if you offer a product, a service, any type of offering, make sure it's documented in a way that the AI can fully understand. You are not just writing for a human, you are writing for the assistant. Now, that might not make sense. I am working on a full workshop for AI SEO to get you prepared, especially I'm just waiting for GPT-5 to come out. So that way it's the most current it can possibly be. So be on the lookout for that. But let me at least give you a tip on what I mean by AI readable, because I see these challenges all the time. Number 1, make sure your offer is very clearly defined. What do you do? Who's it for? And how does it work? We are all guilty of dropping the ball with this at certain times in our career. I've seen companies that have been around forever make this mistake. And of course, startups make the mistake as they're evolving and getting their brand message under their belt. So that's number 1. Make sure your offers are very clearly defined. Number 2, make sure that they are structured and scannable by the AI, that it can extract everything very easily, pricing, outcomes, process. The days of you putting things behind a firewall are coming to an end. You want to hide your pricing, get a demo, get this, get that, hide the pricing or hide whatever just to capture that email address. Those days they're coming to a close. Because if you don't do it, somebody else is, and the AI is going to index their content and use that to push it out to the user. So things are just changing here, and we just have to open up to it and adapt. And number 3, just avoid the marketing fluff, nonsense language. You know, humans might like it, but it's going to bring zero value to the AI because generically it's throwing a lot of these trendy terms out, right? Unlock this, harness the power of that. And at the end of the day, it brings each word is going to have to be looked at. Is this word valuable? Is this word valuable? Is this word valuable? Things are changing. Things are changing. So just take this to heart. I'm not saying you got to start this right this second, but because it's going to be hard. It's going to be a complete shift in the way that you do this, but start doing it a little bit every single day now. Practice, get better at it. Really think about every single word. I know the whole mission here is let's let AI automate our whole world. But if you want to stay relevant, if you want to keep your job, if you want to make sure that you stay relevant in marketing, in sales, in any type of business at this point, you are going to have to stay on top of this and make sure that you are standing out from the sea of the lazy people that will not adapt. And I know that's not you because you're still here watching or listening to this video. Tip number 3, prepare for the app layer shift. Now, you might not even know what I'm saying, but if you prepare for this, this could be one of the biggest gold rushes that we've seen in a long time. So think about this. This is going to be an app store, but for AI. An app store, but for AI. So if you have a service, a tool, content, something of value, start thinking about what that would look like in a plugin that an AI assistant could use. The easiest way I can explain this, think about how we browse the App Store to find tools for our phone. Well, you're going to browse the ChatGPT App Store, or your agent will, to find tools for the agent. So those that get in early, just like back in the day with the App Store, they're going to have the visibility, they're going to have the credibility and the visibility. And with all that comes trust, and you're going to win. So this is not about SEO or social media here. This is about building an AI native discoverability and being usable, searchable, selectable inside the assistant itself. It's going to get weird, folks. It's a definite shift, and we all need to be prepared for it. Tip number 4, build with memory in mind. It is the memory in these LLMs that turn it from just a simple tool into a true teammate, and here in the future, a full-blown employee and assistant. So look, it's so cool when I'm working on something and I'll go in and I'll say, hey, remember that conversation we were having a couple days ago about this? It seems to pertain to what we're talking about now. How can I integrate that into whatever I'm working on? And it'll remember it and it'll pull from that conversation and just make the experience that much better. And as memory continues to expand, and eventually we will get to basically infinity amounts of memory, your LLM, your assistant, is going to know you better than your wife, your mom, your dad, your husband. I know it's one part very creepy, but on the other part, it's really cool because we're not going to forget anything important anymore. So make sure that you are teaching it how you think, your processes, your preferences, if you will. And I think it's really going to pay off for you in the end. And tip number 5, rethink your funnel. Now, I'm not telling you to go and rip down your website right now and Rome is burning and zero traffic and you're all done. I'm not saying that at all. But we do need to start rethinking this, because what if your customer never does come back to your website again? Where does that leave you? We want to make sure that we are forward thinking, because there is no doubt that the way people are searching is changing. That is not debatable. What's debatable is how quickly and how much and all those things, right? So it doesn't hurt us to prepare for the worst, but hope for the best here. So if your customer never does land on your homepage, what might they hear about you through ChatGPT or through whatever LLM that you're using? What is it going to say about you? So make sure you're going into your LLMs, like log out or use a different browser that's not one that you've trained or used, and start putting in your company, start putting in your name, start putting in certain keywords, start putting in competitors, start creating a file of that research so you can see how everybody else is coming up within the system. And then you, because most of them aren't really going to be doing it, you're going to put in that extra work and you'll be ahead of all of them. One more thing. We are so used to optimizing for the algorithms, for Google, for LinkedIn, for TikTok, Instagram. But here's what's different now. The next algorithm isn't faceless. It's personalized. It knows your user. It is theoretically going to work in its best interest. So if you want to be seen, be useful. If you want to be chosen, be ready. Because in a world where AI makes the decisions, you don't get found, you get picked. Well, I hope you found this valuable. If you did, please hit that like, subscribe button, leave me a comment. Let me know that this training was good for you. If you're interested in the future workshop, drop me a comment or a DM, anything like that. But that's it for me today. My name is Harrison Painter. This has been your AI Daily Brief. And until next time, keep creating, keep innovating, and most importantly, keep up. God bless.
Thanks for listening. I'm glad you stayed. One more spark for the plans you've made. If this show hit, go share the vibe. Like, subscribe, let's build this tribe. Been blazing trails, now I'm building new. Launch ready's live and the work is